Okay, so then we'll move on to the next item, the superintendent's report. Dr. Skinkis.
Just a quick note to Mr. Welch's comment about the meetings in May. So we're scheduled to have the Foundation Booster Club and PTO at the May 24th meeting, where they'll give a brief presentation, introduce any new officers, or update us on their financials and just the annual report out that we've been doing. So I'm scheduling that for May 24th. In Curriculum Advisory Council, no update at this time. Facilities Advisory Council, the stadium, in regards to punch list items, are all but complete. We have a few minor items that we're checking on through the architects and the engineers and our contract manager, our construction manager, in order to finalize closeout documents for those contractors. The track events, the new shot put pad was installed with the stone base, the stone vector for the throwing, so that's out there. So you'll see there's two from by the scoreboard, which are used for practice, and then one for competition. And the track events behind the stadium have been surfaced and their sod has been laid. I sent pictures out of that in the Friday update. The striping will finish here this week or early next week, weather permitting, and we're hoping to possibly host our first track meet next week in the stadium. The gym project, construction meetings for that will pick up May 10th with the building team, the construction manager, the architects, and starting to lay out our staging areas and temporary fencing, and starting to finalize and sign offs on some of our drawings. A natatorium update. So we are still doing manual tests on the chemical levels in the pool 5 to 6 times daily and keeping a log on that. Our chemical levels are at their expected points of where they're supposed to be. The paperwork has been submitted to the Illinois Department of Health in order to install a new chlorine system. So once that gets approved, we'll then begin the process of purchasing and installing a new electronic chlorine pump system that will monitor and pump the chlorine into the pool. And that was the system that went bad, that was, we think, was oversupplying some of the chlorine to the water, which caused a problem about 2 weeks ago. But all that has been corrected. We're manually testing that 5 to 6 times a week, and we believe we have the situation complete under control. And we're hoping that the paperwork will be approved accordingly so that we can begin the install of a new system. The new system would also be web-based, so that Joel and Bill Fry, our aquatics director, would be able to check it just from an app on their phone to make sure that there's no alarms in place and that all the pool chemical levels are at the right rates. And so we're excited about the installation of that new system. Finance Advisory Council, no updates at this time, but we'll be pulling that group together in May to beginning to start looking at the first draft of the budget for the FY17. We'll follow a similar cycle in that the goal will be to get the Board of Education the budget for June, and then approve the temporary budget in July, and then approve the final budget in September. Personnel Advisory Council, no updates. Gary and Matt serve on my Personnel Advisory Council, and they're both currently serving on the board's negotiating team, and they'll provide an update to the board on negotiations in closed session. And then Policy Advisory Council, which is Mr. Welch and Mr. Jepson, we finished our revisions and edits for the board to review tonight for press packet 91. And that is all I have for my report.
Anything question-wise from the members over here? Members over here?
Kevin, do we have any idea how long it takes the state to approve that request?
2 to 4 weeks.
Okay, thank you.